Well, we're excited to be here. I don't care what stage your business is at. We all need these functions, these events to get fired up again and get refocused, remotivated. And if you already are focused, great. Just stay on it, right? And the whole idea is about if your business is rolling and you're focused, it's all about getting your guys focused at these weekends. There's always something here for somebody, for everybody actually. Grab some nuggets, all right? It's your responsibility to walk away with the information you need this weekend. It's not our responsibility to give it to you. You guys need to grasp it. Grasshopper. It'll be spoken. If you miss it, well, what can I tell you? I remember we were telling, I've been asking you a lot of questions and you're not answering them. He says, well, I've been answering them. You've just been asking the wrong questions. And so if you think what we're talking to you about, the information you need is not what we're talking to you about, think again. Check your notes one more time. All right, so we had to figure out, man, these guys are talking about what we need to hear about. And we got to figure out, man, why did they say that? Or why are they talking about this and that? And so number one thing is to develop an attitude of gratitude. And I think we always need work on that. Number one reason for you to be grateful is that you're in an awesome organization. They're just awesome. They're like totally plugged into Dex and Bertie. They just, and I know as for a fact from personal talk that Dex and Bertie love them to death. So we know you're in the right place, right? And you're in this business. And best of all, you're North Americans. All right, let me tell you something. You take a lot of things for granted, like water flow and land. And so we live here. It's a very, free society. You can't believe the controls that exist in other countries. I explain to people in other countries how you don't need to walk around with ID in North America. If you're walking the streets and a cop stops you, you don't need to prove who you are unless he has something to take you in for. They can't believe this. If they don't carry their ID around in most countries, they're in big doo-doo. Okay? So you don't think about that till, just like you say, hey, wow, that's pretty awesome. There's one freedom. There's a lot of them. And one of them is to be able to do your business, build your business, just gather together here as a group, talk about how we're going to expand our business, make this, make your family better, make your business better, make this country better. And nobody's here editing our notes and telling us what we can tell you and what we can't tell you. All right? And that's great. So a lot of things to be grateful for. And I believe one of the things you guys need to be grateful for is that you had some brains to get in. You say, oh, thank God I wasn't one of those no's. Can you imagine going around the rest of your life knowing people are converging at conferences talking about you and you don't even know about it? I'd hate to be one of them, boy. Right? So, I talk about it every time we show the plan, every time we do a meeting, a board plan, and open, we talk about, man, it's like it makes no sense to not be involved in this business. You actually, there's no logic to not be involved in some manner or form with this business, with this program, to take advantage of everything it has to offer. It doesn't make sense to not get in. Any reason somebody gives you to not get in is totally 100% emotional. Has nothing to do with logic. That's why their excuses sound stupid. They're all stupid. There's no logical excuse the guy can give you, right? It's like, he can say anything he wants. My nose hairs are too long, and it's a good one, right? That'll work. So you guys were bright enough to get in. Awesome. Grateful. Attitude of gratitude. Whew. I could have been one of them, right? That's number one. Problem is now, since you've shown a hint of logic and common sense, we need to take it to the next. All right, you guys are pretty quick. Just going to go fast tonight. So now you're in, and I'm free. I can do or not do what I want to do. I got to see this opportunity. By fluke, I happened to see this opportunity by someone in an awesome organization, in an awesome business. That was amazing. What a fluke. How, wow, it's, Luke, it's your destiny kind of thing, It's like, wow, amazing, Now, it's like, so now you're in, right? The only problem is, once you come to a lot of these things, right, you can develop good excuses, right? You can start to, remember, you don't want to be one of the no guys. Well, now you don't want to be an excuse guy either, so you come up with good ones, right? Right? And as the old saying goes, good excuses lead to the dark side. You don't want to go there, right? Right? And so we gotta, now we gotta get up and do something about this, right? We're in, it's a great idea. Sure, great products, services. I mean, who wouldn't want that stuff? I wouldn't want to go use that other baloney available in the stores anyways. I don't get how people don't want to use this stuff. That's, hey, we're doing that. You say, man, these meetings are even pretty great. That's why I'm here, right? You're here. I don't talk anymore at these conferences about how great these conferences are because you guys know that. You're here, right? But then it's like, once we're, using, consuming, and we're learning now, the next step is doing something. That's where we meet trouble, right? That's where it's like it comes time to pull out the lightsaber and you're out of batteries, right? So we need to, this is what we're here for now, is like, all right, we had enough common sense to get in. We got in the right place, not by our doing. We just got in. We're in the right group. Whew, be grateful for that. Now it's a question of, man, am I really going to do this thing? Am I actually going to get it done? Some of you think that there's not enough room in this business for all of you to be diamond. It can't all go diamond. Sure you can. Sure you can. You know that if all of you go diamond, that's just going to spur more people outside this business to become yeses. The more success we have, the more they can't deny it, the more they can't be a no, right? You start to look like an idiot, right? Because too many people are driving Porsches that said yes. You understand how we're holding ourselves back? You gotta help these people out by having some success. You catching on here? All right? Okay. So you had the good common sense to get in, and now it's time to get it done, to do something so we can push the other guys into making a decision they didn't want to make, but now they can't deny and have to make it. So lots of success will bring lots of success. And those of you worried about that last person, when it's all saturated and everyone's in, how that last person will be taken advantage of? Nothing wrong with being the last person. I mean, could be a few generations from now. But the last person in will at least get a good deal on products. Because the more of us that get, listen, could you imagine 300 million people in North America buying these products? How many of you think there'll be more PV/BV? There'll be more profits? I mean, even better deals, right? Then they can't even deny the better deals because they just get better and better and better. The more of us have success. But that comes back to doing something. So I'll be back, talk a little bit about that. I'm going to leave you with my co-captain on his wacky road trip, air trip, whatever it was. And I'll be back.
Okay, bye. Now, I know he was talking about North Americans, but I heard that there are some people from Europe here. Is that right? De la Suisse? C'est vrai? Bienvenue, bienvenue. All right. A beautiful country. Well, it's been a wonderful 3 weeks. It's been a great ride, and we'll talk a little bit about that to you guys. But none of that would have been possible if we weren't willing in the first few years to make our lives a little bit difficult in the sense that we gave up anything that we were doing with our free time. We decided that we wanted to build this business as quickly as possible. I feel like the wet rag after the comedy act. I'll get some good stuff in here and then we'll come out. Before this business, that's not normal. What we live, 9 to 5, for those of us that work 9 to 5, home to work to home to work to home, week after week after week after week after month after month after year. And if you're lucky, you get 2 weeks, 3 weeks vacation. But you know what happens when we have 2, 3 weeks vacation? Nobody goes away, because by the time you're married and maybe have a kid or two, you don't have money to go away. So what do we do on our vacation? We paint the house, we fix the yard, we do all the repairs around the house. So it's not a real vacation. And if we go away on vacation, where do we go? We go to the shore where it's cheap, and affordable for the family, which isn't that affordable anymore. Things have gotten pretty expensive out there. So that is not a normal life, okay, where we can't wait till Friday, and you know all this. You probably talk about it every night during your plan, the rut system. And then as we're building this business and I'll be honest with you, and I'm almost embarrassed at the results we've had for the little work we've put in this business. But Annie and I worked really hard for 3 years, really, really, really hard for 3 years And that's it. And why was it very difficult? Is because we still had our day jobs. I still worked during the day, Andy still had his store, and that's the only reason it was difficult, because we had absolutely no free time. And that was a decision we made. And once we made that decision, it was very simple. Just go out there and do the work. Did we have successful plans? Not always. There was many no-shows. A lot of people said no to us. But it was never a focus of that night. It was just, okay, never mind, next. And then finally, we were able to earn enough money in this business that I was able to leave my job. But all through that struggle of those 3 years, and some people say we sacrificed, but sacrifice is a big word. I don't think we actually sacrificed. It was a choice. It was a decision what we made. It was a choice that we made to build this business. So those few years while we were building this business hard, that's not normal either. Don't think what you're going through, you guys that are in the trenches out there, don't think that's going to be your life. No, it does not end up that way at all. That's just for the time you need to spend and dedicate to this business to get to the goal you want. And I'm assuming diamond. We're always talking assuming diamond, that everybody here wants to go diamond. So those few years where we worked really hard, a lot of things happen to us, and a lot of things are happening to you, and you have to have an attitude really of NBD, no big deal. Where are we going? We're going diamond. Is this going to matter in 100 years? Is this going to really be important to us once we're diamond? Do you know that by the time we went emerald, we resolved about 90% of our dilemmas? And you know why? Because they were financial. If you think about all the dilemmas and situations you have in your home, most of them can be solved with money. And not that money's everything, but it sure helps a lot. And then finally, you don't have balance before this business. While you're in the trenches, it's not really a normal life either. You don't have very much balance there. I remember doing crazy things, living in the apartment. Some of you have heard our story where, I'd have dishes in the oven and people come over because just didn't have time. Our bureau was empty. We lived out of the washer and dryer. It was either in the washer or in the dryer. And, and who cares? Now I have a housekeeper who does all that. So who cares, If you can do it just temporarily, I know the girls always get excited about that one. If you can just temporarily put your focus on diamond and understand that whatever it is you're doing is so irrelevant to your future in the sense of anything that has nothing to do with your goal in this business. If what you're doing, ask yourself all the time, is what I'm doing right now going to bring me towards my goal? And if the answer is no, and that's a quote from an astronaut that someone had given me at work when I had my job. They knew I was in this business, and they brought me this quote saying that he always asked himself, is what I'm doing heading towards my goal? And so if an astronaut does that, what are we to say? We have the same idea of being focused to get our goals and our dreams, because that's all it's about, getting your dreams. And then once you hit your goal, then life begins. Then what you're supposed to do in life starts happening. Whatever is important to you, you can start focusing on that, whether it be charities, whether it be helping out, whatever it is that's your hot button, your family, helping your family, whatever it is that interests you, whatever it is that is important to you, that up until this point, you can't really do anything. Imagine how much free time you'll have, how much time you'll be able to volunteer. And as the money's coming in, it doesn't matter if you blow it all one month, because you know what? The next month, it's like there's a tube in the wall you were the month before with the money. Isn't it wonderful that you can do that? And then your life starts becoming normal. And you start doing the things that you want to do with the people you want to be with, not the people you're forced to be with at work. And for as long as you want, when you want, and you get control of your life back, you're back in control. And all you have to do is during this period of time while you're in the trenches is to just stay focused on why it is you're doing what you're doing. Keep that dream in front of you. Because Andy's and I's big hot button, well, mine, I include him in because he's married to me, so by marriage, it's his hot button. It was to travel, among many other things. And we have been taking these amazing trips, finally. Finally. I remember backpacking as a student, and, there's no comparison. And when I went backpacking, it was $25 a day. I hear it's $100 a day now, so I don't know about that. And it was funny because when Andy and I went to Paris a few years ago, I was looking, to take the metro, and I was looking to see what bus and metro we had to take to get back to our hotel. And Andy's looking at me like, metro, bus, it's subway. What are you, crazy? And he lifts and he goes, taxi, and he called a taxi. Oh yeah, I could do that now. We can afford a taxi back to the hotel. This is great. And it doesn't mean that you spend your money and you throw it all over the place, but isn't it nice to know that if you wanted to, you can? Isn't that great? So just keep that dream in front of you, and if you keep it in front of you, whatever it is you have to go through, NBD, no big deal. Is what I'm doing right now going to take me to my goal, I'm assuming diamond? Is what had just happened to me now, the situation I'm in now, the discussion, the high-level discussions we have with our spouses, is that what we're talking about really going to be important 50, 100 years from now, or when we're diamond? I know that when I think about some of the high-level discussions Andy and I have, I'm embarrassed at the ones I remember. I forget most of them, which is good. But the ones I do remember, I'm so embarrassed. I can't believe we argued over such stupidities, which at the time seemed enormous. They did not seem small at all. They seemed really serious and really enormous. And now I think about it and I just shake my head and say, oh, I hope his memory is worse than mine, And if you can keep that in your mind as you're out there in the trenches building this business, I know you are going to so enjoy the rewards. And whatever it is that excites you, you'll be able to do it with style, the way you want, for as long as you want, with the people you want. And that's it. We're going to see you tomorrow afternoon. I'm going to bring Andy back on stage, and he'll finish talking to you about that. But let me tell you, as he's coming up here, these last 3 weeks, we spent a week in Greece, enjoying family that live there, and 2 weeks in Italy enjoying my family that live there, and they can't believe how often we come. And just one comment that was really funny. My cousins in Italy were saying to me, when you first started that business, we all felt sorry for you. Oh, poor thing, And now look at you, all the time off you have, and you don't have to call the office or do anything. And man, you're the smart one. We're the stupid ones with our businesses, and I'm just sitting there grinning. I love it. So just hang in there. It'll happen to you.
Good stuff. All right. Woo. Yeah. Told me about how it was $25 a day through Europe, or 100. Just didn't seem that little this time around. I don't know. Well, I'm going to write a new travel through Europe book. Like $1,000 a day or something like that. I'll get a tally up and figure it out. Might not sell very well, but it's the truth. I mean, if you want to eat and stuff like that and have a bed to sleep in and all these things, Anyways, I think it's all about, how you see things. In a lot of cases where the speakers come out here so we can say things a little different than your upline's been telling them to you. Because we might make an impact. Sometimes you hear somebody's voice or accent all the time, and you kind of don't hear it anymore, right? I'm not saying like your spouses or anything, but then somebody else tells you, and you say, oh wow, and like just when somebody else tells you, don't tell your spouse, did you hear what they said? Because she's probably been telling you for a long time. So you guys are here to prepare for the explosion, and They bring us in so we can tell you the same things in a little bit different way, and you say, wow, amazing. Same stuff, just tell it to you a little different. You say, oh, I caught it finally. A lot of things we've been hearing. How many of you figure Dex has been telling us pretty much what Robert Kiyosaki's been telling us? All right? Well, here comes a guy, writes it a certain way, and, boom, a lot of people get it because it was said in a different way. Now, I have to fix my group up on it a little bit because I don't think he said it quite like Dex, because as soon as guys read that book, my guys went out and started buying duplexes. They missed the build a business part. So I think one of the keys to activity is to forget what's happened up to now. And that's the hardest part, I think, because if what you haven't wanted to happen, if what you've wanted to happen hasn't happened up to now, we have a tendency to remember that. We think linearly. Oh my goodness, if all this hasn't happened in 8 years, or if I've only done that in 8 years, then that's obviously what's going to happen in the next 8 years. And some people need a new refresher course in how things can happen exponentially, right? Stop thinking linearly, right? Start thinking calculus and stuff like that. Don't just think simple arithmetic. Start, multiplying things, or, to the power of, and start thinking exponentially. Now, when you think exponentially, you say, man, can I do it? Sure you can do it, right? Because it's not just you. Right? There's a lot of help, not just upline help, system help. There's so many things there for you to be able to leverage yourself with, to leverage this, this business. Who was it? One of those Greek guys. He said, man, yes, just too many to count, right? He said, man, give me the right lever, and with one finger I can move the world. Right? Archimedes, I knew that. And so, think about it. If he said that, and he believed that, right, and all of a sudden he started showing people, how many of you think your upline, or Dex and Bertie, are that much more brilliant than you? This is one of Dex's biggest frustrations, by the way, is that people don't think they can do what he did. When you guys have a much better development system available to you, a lot more help than he ever had. Actually, he had an upline that discouraged him. He had an upline that wouldn't show up to the opens. He had an upline that wouldn't pass him books. All right? Well, I started thinking about that. I think I'm going to start hiding things on my group. Sometimes when you fight for it, right? Man, you make it happen. You say you own it at one point when too many things are given to you. And so, it's probably, that's one of the reasons why we have to buy our tools. Right? So we want it to cost. People say it's a lot of money. Yeah, that's right. We want it to hurt. There's so little in this business compared to any other business in terms of cost. You got to be kidding me. You can't handle cost of some CDs or some books or a seminar or a conference. What are you saving it for? So you can have steak? Not supposed to be eating that stuff anyways. Become a vegetarian for a couple of years and go diamond. I'm a vegetarian, by the way. I don't eat animals that are vegetarians. You guys, I will not eat a carnivore. So here's the thing, is forgetting about the past, right? How long you've been in is totally irrelevant to the next guy you're talking to. And a lot of you show up at a meeting, you go to show the plan, and you bring everything that's happened or hasn't happened. And you have a tendency to take 8 years of experiences and bring them with you. And even if you've had only 4 experiences, how many of you know you could stretch 4 experiences into 8 years worth of stuff, right? You make them big. And you show up at the meeting. And the self-talk, you got to change your self-talk. You show up and you say, probably won't want to get in anyways. Yeah, I knew it. I knew you'd be busy. He said he's going to come, but he probably won't show like the last guy. You got to change all that. First off, when you show up and you start talking to people, don't talk about how long you've been in. Tell them the truth. I'm just getting started. Oh, I've been using the products for years. They're great. You know, I'm smart enough to use the products. I had the common sense to say yes to that, but I haven't done anything yet. You know, I just signed up to, I'm just getting started now. How many people have you gotten in? You're my first. They love that one. Yeah, let's do it together. What's the problem with that? You know, stop lying. They think you opened the store and you've been running a store for years. Tell them the truth. I signed the lease. I just never opened the store. Right? But you can't say that because, you don't want to tell them the truth because then they'll say, maybe I don't want to get in with this guy. Just tell them what's really happening. Say, I'm just getting started. No, that's the truth. Just getting started. Right? If you don't have the results, man, keep pointing upline. I think one of the most common mistakes people make is that they stop edifying, they stop pointing to upline after they've been in a while because you're confusing time in the business with success. You're confusing time in the business with success. And so we start showing plan because we've been in 4 years. We stop telling them about our upline. You need to meet this guy. They start asking a question and you act like you know the answer. Stop it. Because by the way some people that are in this business answer questions, I think you must be making 10 grand a month. You know so much. And so relative to how much you're making a month, that's how many questions you should be answering. Divide the amount of money you're making a month by 1,000. So if you make 300, you should be answering 0.3 questions. Right? Right? So stop talking about how long you've been in the day. First of all, they don't care and it's not their problem. Oh, how long you been in? If you've been building it, you're like at 2,500, 4,000. They don't understand. Well, I've been in 6 months, I've been in a year. They don't know. They're like, how much are you making? They don't know business, so don't tell them net numbers. When I would meet business people, or still today, I talk to guys who own restaurants. How much you making? They don't say, well, I'm putting like $800 a week in my pocket. They don't say that. I've never heard them say that. You know what they say? We do $40,000 a week. We do $60,000 a week. They don't tell me what they net. They don't give me their accounting. They don't show me the books. You guys are showing them the books. 4,000 PV, 25, whatever. Just tell them, pick a number. Say, do your little calculation there. And say, well, right now we're running about $100,000 a year worth of volume. Doesn't that sound a lot more impressive than $900 a month? Hello? You think they understand 900? Ooh, 900 a month? That doesn't seem like a big number. They don't get it. They don't know. So start using things that'll help you. I heard somebody, I think it was Bruce Wilkinson said, man, don't change the dream or what you're shooting for. Change your strategy, right? Talking differently will get you a little more excited too. Tell them what you're up on. When they say, how does that work? Even if you know, just, it's all attitude. You just need a little perspective, that's all. A little different perspective. You get a little different perspective and you give them a different perspective. That's what it's all about. That's how you get yourself excited, Change the way you're doing things and surprise them. Surprise yourself first and surprise them. And then you'll be able to change results because you say things differently. You're a new guy, you're a new gal. It's a whole new business. They said, you're one person away from an explosion. And like Scott Michael says, I just never thought that person could be me. You're one person, yeah. Me? Wow. That change your vocabulary. Change. You'll see, first of all, you'll attract different people. You're not going to carry around the luggage from the last 4 or 5 years. You'll just be fresh, man. Pumped up, excited. But really excited. You know, they ask you a question, you say, oh, that's a very good question. You've heard it all before. You say, oh, that's a good question, you know. I need to ask somebody. I believe most people have the best sponsoring rate when they're brand new, and the only tools they bring to the table are excitement or enthusiasm, pick your word, and edification. 2 things. Enthusiasm and edification. That's all you bring to the table, and you sponsored quite a big percentage. Now you get all these answers to these questions, and you're not getting them. They're not turned on. They're not following you. Because, man, to answer all those questions without the results, just something missing. They don't get it. What's wrong with this picture? I tell people, look, you want to get good in this business? You need to become an actor. Go, an actor? Why an actor? Will I be lying? No, I'm not saying all actors are liars. No, but let me tell you something. You heard Dex talk about it. Business is repetition, repetition, repetition. It's the same thing over and over and over again. I love it when somebody says, you know what I hate about that business? It's the same thing over and over and over again. Like what other business? They're all like that. At least this one's different because we get to see a new person all the time. Right? A new excuse. Surprise me. Oh, I never heard that one before. Wow. Right? You need to be an actor. Why do you need to be an actor? I'll tell you why. Because when you're showing it for the 1,000th time, it's not their problem. And you need to act like it's the first time you ever heard that. It's the first time you're showing the plan. It's the first time you ever seen anybody get excited about this business. Not the... They ask a question and you're like, will you get it? You're not listening. You catch yourself saying this stuff? You've been in a while, you start getting upset with them. Man, to this day, I'll say things like, oh, can you hang on to that? That's a good question. I'm sure it is. Can you hang on? Because, man, you mess me up here. I get confused. I have to start from the beginning again. You want that? No. Honestly, how many of you think I get that confused that I have to start from the beginning again? No, you just try to scare them into holding back their questions, right? They go, oh, no, not from... Continue, please. Move along. So, why are we actors? Because we want them to feel special. It's also why you want to be an actor when you're contacting. You want to it's like, this guy was so special, was so different. Something caught your eye, something he said. There's got to be a reason for the connection, you know? But besides all those techniques, it's all how you react to them. It's all how you react to what's happening to you. How many no's can you handle? If you knew it would take you 2,000 people to personally show the plan to, so you can be a double diamond, so you can live the life, large life, so you can play around the world and buy what you want to buy and just buy a 2006 Z06 yellow Corvette, bring it to Europe and teach those guys a few lessons. Oh yeah, they got these little engines there. Oh, bring some cubic inches over there. You know what I found out? Torque costs money. Right? You want that lifestyle? 2,000 no's. Can you handle it? If you had to get 2,000 no's, would it be the end of the world? Oh, but that means we'd have to come in contact with 2,000 people to actually get 2,000 no's. Are you walking around with a smile? Are you upset that there's another conference coming up? Where am I going to find the money? Empty your freezer. Most people have a conference hidden in their freezer. Whatever needs to be frozen is probably not good for you anyways. Positive affirmation statement. Read it all the time. Got to change your influence. And that means go back to listening to CDs all the time. Not just your favorites, all of them. Even the ones that irritate you, there's probably a very good reason why they irritate you. Same thing with your books. Shut the TV. Got to go back to the way it was at the beginning. When you first started, you said, that's a great idea, cut the TV. Then you slowly slip into a couple of antenna channels. Then you get a small cable package, then the big cable package. Next thing you know, you're sucked in. It's over. You become one of them. If TV is designed for grade 8 education, which it is, if you're a high school or university graduate, that means that every hour of TV you watch is 1 hour dumber you get. So if you did a few thousand hours of university class and studying, how many hours of TV does it get to erase that? Just things to ask yourself. So you need to change your influence. Got to change your influence in order to gain enthusiasm, gain inspiration, have belief and faith. Right? All that comes from a dream. A dream is the only thing that's going to get you to do these things, right? If we work it backwards, which, what I just told you guys is what most North Americans do. Didn't it sound backwards? First, they get influenced by anything and anybody. Then they get excited in whatever way. They get inspired in the wrong way, probably. At 18, pick a profession, like you know what the heck you're talking about. One guy tells me, I want to be a trauma surgeon. I like that. I said, were you one before? How do you know you like it? I don't know, anyways, whatever. Maybe I didn't get it. So, then belief and faith in what you're doing, then the dream. I don't know how you get a dream. The dream is whatever your profession gives you. Whereas, because of a dream, we get, the belief and the faith required in order for us to get inspired. Only belief and faith in a dream will give us inspiration, which gets us enthusiastic enough to influence others and actually go seek influence for others. Like it says, spend time with people who have what you want or want what you have. And this last trip in Italy, I don't think it was working either way. Standing around his family, I go, have what I want or want what I have? So read yourself a positive affirmation statement. Vitality and energy are not physically, it's not a physical thing. It's all mental. Okay, you can have somebody very, very, like in great shape. You can have somebody in superb physical condition yet be down. Have a loss of energy. Energy is from here. You can read some books where you'll figure out, don't even need food for energy. You just suck it's the smell of plants and trees and oxygen. People say you got to have a heart. You don't have to have heart. Heart does nothing. Did you know that? Heart does nothing. What gets things moving are the lungs. Air. They pump. They get things going. The blood moves. And that moves the heart. Heart is a passive tool. It's a valve. How many people out there have been valves their whole life? Aren't you tired of being a valve? It's time. You need to be proactive. You need to be lungs. Do you have the lungs for this business? You need to act more like lungs than a heart. I'd rather be a lung than a heart any day. It's not about having heart. Anybody can just move blood through them. It's about actually being proactive, making it happen. This is your chance to be a hero. People their whole lives search for something they can be a hero at. You guys, by chance, are here. Well, what are we going to do with it? You see, we haven't even started our journey. But I know I'm on the right team, I'm doing the right thing, and I'm doing my darnest to perform, to excel, to impress people I believe in, people that have impressed me, people that are my heroes. Who are you going to be a hero to? There's people out there that are knows today that they don't know they're dumb. They're too dumb to get in this business. They need you guys to go become heroes so they can see this business and get it done. It's your responsibility. Don't let the rest of the world down. Be the one that gets it done. You're one person away from explosion. You. All right?